Hello again, people. Moin away from the again, as always, and as usual. I'll be treating the Roman goddess Minerva, or better said, Minerva, whom I shall be referring to pronunciation-wise henceforth. So yeah, let's get down to it. I'm gonna read from the Wikipedia article the way I'm used to doing. You can find that, as is usually the case, linked in the description of this video if you want to know everything about Minerva or Minerva. Minerva is the Roman goddess of wisdom, justice, law, victory, and the sponsor of arts, trade, and strategy. She is also a goddess of warfare, though with a focus on strategic warfare rather than the violence of gods such as Mars. Beginning in the 2nd century BC, the Romans equated her with the Greek goddess Athena. Minerva is one of the three Roman deities in the Capitoline Triad, along with Jupiter and Juno. Minerva is a virgin goddess. Her domain includes music, poetry, medicine, wisdom, commerce, weaving, and the crafts. Minerva is often depicted with her sacred creature, an owl, usually named the Owl of Minerva, which symbolized her association with wisdom and knowledge, as well as less frequently the snakes and the olive tree. She is commonly depicted as tall with an athletic and muscular build and is often wearing armor and carrying a spear. As an important Roman goddess, she is highly revered, honored, and respected. Marcus Terentius Varro considered her to be ideal and the plan for the universe personified. So yeah, let's dive right into it. Minerva is mercurial. She aligns with the zodiac sign Virgo, specifically 7 degrees in Virgo, which stands for someone that is generally speaking more on the serious side, with political and thingy interests. Let me see, and interests regarding math. So math, mathematics. So that already speaks for itself. It simply says that Minerva is generally speaking more serious in nature, but that's a given based on her thingy, based on her description. And speaking of that, the description, I'm just going to come out right and say it. Minerva has no specialty. All the things that are mentioned in the Wikipedia article, those are the things I want to say more or less, but no, just plain all the things that are mentioned are the things that she governs and that she not governs, but in a manner of speaking, in the way of skills, are the things that she goes over and that she can offer to practitioners. So people that are interested in working with her. So literally all the things you heard, trade, strategy, etc., 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 warfare, and so on and so forth. But again, emphasis regarding the latter is that, again, if anyone were to ask her for anything where combat enters the fray or comes into play, then it will be purely the assistance that she'll be giving you will be based upon, again, strategizing or strategization, or strategizing rather than, just brute blunt force like Mars, for example, or better said, Ares. No offense meant to Ares, obviously. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not done. All the things that were attributed to her and the things that her followers worshipped her for, these things, again, you need to remember that it's not done out of intellect. Okay. It's done from all the things that were associated with Virgo, the zodiac sign Virgo. Um, Across a general broad spectrum. Okay, the things that Virgo by default deals with obviously are being discriminatory, health, physical health specifically, not mental health, um, being meticulous, so being ultra detailed, essentially having a perfectionist, craftsman-like mentality about oneself, and so on and so forth. That is the energy that Minerva embodies. So, like I said, asking her for something like warfare, for example, will be done in a Virgo-like manner. Okay, so a Mercurial manner, not in a Martian manner, as in blunt force, aggression, and stuff, and so on. No, nor is it done in like a Venusian way, such as with Libra and the high level of intelligence, and so on and so forth. No, it's purely done in a Mercurial way through analyzing or through analysis, strategizing, and so on and so forth. Essentially, through skill, essentially. rather than intellect or sheer power or force. Oh, and again, like I said, no specialty. It's just across the board. Oh, yeah. And emphasis also needs to be laid, a heavy emphasis or a considerable emphasis needs to be laid on the fact that Minerva will specifically, if you work with her, she will, of course, based on the fact that she's a goddess, the influence will be slightly stronger with women than with men, but this is only technically speaking. Minerva is one of those exceptional entities where, based on her nature and personality, it's more or less balanced. So it doesn't matter whether you're a guy or a woman, a guy or a girl, doesn't matter. In any case, yeah, as I was saying, there is a considerable emphasis to be laid upon stability and consistency in regards to the aforementioned Mercurial, so Virgo-like affairs. So you work with Minerva, for example, and you want to accomplish a goal, for example, trading, you want to open up your own business, and you are someone that is pagan in nature, and you're a woman, you want to work with Minerva because she appeals to you at a personal level as well as overall, whatever. Okay, fine, no problemo. But that's what you need to keep in mind. Those are the energies that her energy by default is what she will bestow upon you. And as time passes and based on the intensity of your work with her and so on and so forth, you'll also her energy obviously will rub off on you heavily and you'll essentially become like her. So expect to be receiving heavy doses of Virgo-based energy. And yeah, what else can I say? But like I said, she'll also make it so that you're gonna be very consistent and very adamant and stable, and there will be a heavy focus on, for example, perfecting your business and being as detail conscious as possible and as discriminatory as possible, yada yada yada. And that is key to success in working with her. But understand that it's a double-edged knife or sword or blade or whatever, in the sense that, like I said, it's not based on brute force nor on intellect, in general at least. So understand that if, for example, you do all of this, you do all of the aforementioned, but you overlook a critical factor in the aforementioned or aforegiven example, such as your business, where intellect would be required, then you're going to slap yourself in the face. You're going to experience, the full drawbacks of contextually being stubborn, not literally. It's like imagine someone putting all of their eggs in one basket, hypothetically speaking, and they, for example, forgot to take something into account. It can happen. It's not an issue. No one is perfect, obviously. Um, Nevertheless, what's the outcome and the result going to be? Still, the outcome and the result is going to be that you're going to fail spectacularly. The equivalent of walking into a casino and putting up your house and betting everything on something, you know, on blackjack and saying hit me and boom, the house wins and you lose. And everything that you work for your entire life, so to speak, is gone and it just goes on like that. So yeah, understand that it's a double-edged knife, so to speak. You need to just the things that Minerva offers you alone, in some cases might not be enough. In other cases, it's a slam dunk. But in some cases, obviously, you need, for example, a second or even a tertiary opinion. So you need to be mindful of that. And that is all later.